How's it going, everybody? My name is Will from Ghosthack, and today I'm going to give you kind of a filmmaker's perspective of one of Ghosthack's biggest cinematic releases, which is the Tesseract Universal Cinematic Sounds. Now in this video, I'm going to be using a little bit of Tesseract in Adobe Premiere Pro, the editing software, and I usually do not use Adobe Premiere Pro, so forgive me if I'm a little bad with, the hotkeys or any other little bits and elements of Adobe Premiere, but I just want to show, filmmakers the basics of the kind of things that you can do, especially with the construction kits that come with Tesseract right here, because there's a lot of stuff you can do without putting in too much effort, like really, grinding down to make something work. A lot of it can kind of work on its own, and you can let the music kind of flow with the video, and you can see where it takes you without having to really push and really try to make it work and force it in a way that, wouldn't be natural. So first, when it comes to the construction kits, I'm just going to display a little bit of what these can do very simply paired with film. Right now, I have this little clip right here, which is not long at all, and it's a promo clip from our Ultimate Cinematic Bundle from Ghosthack. So the first thing to look at is to look at Tesseract itself in this media browser. You can see there's a lot of different kinds of things right here. There's atmospheres, sound effects, risers, static, shimmering tones, all kinds of different stuff. If you want a full overview of all the different kinds of sounds in this pack, you can follow the link in the description. That's going to take you to the Ghosthack page, where there will be another video of me going more in depth about everything that's included. But what I want to focus on mainly today is the construction kits, because there's a ton of kits here. There's like 50 different kits, and they all have completed tracks as well as separated stems for those tracks. So it's very easy for filmmakers to use these in their film projects. They're royalty free, and it's very easy to line everything up and everything separated out if you wish to kind of grab certain elements. Now, so first thing I want to do is I want to look through these construction kits and find kind of the vibe, the mood that I'm looking for in this overall piece. And what I'm seeing is a lot of very different looking clips. This looks like it's covering clips from like tons of different styles of film. And they seem to be very fast, kind of going back and forth. And especially at the end, it seems to be very dramatic and very atmospheric in all of this stuff happening right here. So I think what I want to do is take something dramatic. Like we can just go kit 3 with the drama kit right here. And we can see kit 3 is in A minor, and it is 60 BPM. So A minor is the key of the overall track, and 60 BPM is the beats per minute. That's the tempo. Let me drag this in right here, and we can see the audio file. There's the track. Right now, we can already see that the audio file is longer than the video itself, but I don't know how much that's actually going to matter. First, what we want to do is we want to just listen for the audio file and see if it works well with the clip that we have. So I'm just going to play it. Nothing's lined up, nothing's set up. I just want to hear what it sounds like. All right, so as you can see, the audio does extend past the video, but I really like how it was very ambient in the intro, and that sort of matched these opening scenes, and then it got a lot more intense over here, which I think would definitely match the kind of scenes that were shown in this ending area, where it gets a lot more, you have like space, you have like all of this going on, it gets a lot more intense and dramatic. I think that would really line up well. So let's see how well we can work with this audio file. So the first thing I noticed in the video is there was one spot where somebody's eyes opened and it automatically transitioned to another scene. Let me see if I can find that spot. Yeah, right here, where somebody's eyes opened, and then it went immediately to that space right there. So I see that moment as a really good moment for kind of an impact, some sort of just impactful moment where things start to get a little more intense. Not completely intense, but just a little more intense. So at that moment right here, I want to add something, some sort of hit. So I want to find in this audio file where this, I think it's right here, where this spot is. See, we could start with that right here. This is generally in the intro. It's just that this little hit where you get some sub bass coming in, you get more atmosphere. It just starts to get a little thicker. So I want to use that right there in that one moment. So I'm just going to find the spot. It's probably right before the scene change, probably right close to around there. So it's kind of right in between. And we can throw that right there. Actually, you know, on second thought, I probably will do it right as the scenery changes. Right there. It'll probably be better for the impact. Basically, there's our impact. But then we have it starting kind of cut in the middle here. I like the transition, but we have to deal with this front end. So I want to go into the audio transitions here, and I'm probably just going to choose constant power and throw this in right here, and then just stretch this to the length that we want. So it kind of fades in over time right here. I like that the drones and pads, this area right here, comes in when more drones and pads are coming in the actual audio file that we chose here, this specific kit. Oh, and that worked perfectly. As soon as that scene changed, the drums came in and advertised drums and percussion. So that actually worked out really well. And then it does this little advertisement in the end. Now, taking a listen to this and watching how the video lines up with the audio, I could, of course, go into more detail about, you know, all these transitions and when the visuals transition to a different piece of footage and how the music transitions with it and all those other details, where the impacts are and all the other things. And I could get very detailed with that. But even just taking a kit, right, at a BPM that I just was selected randomly, I just chose it because it sounded dramatic, just throwing it in there and generally lining it up, it gives me a really decent template to work with. Like, this is already, like, it's not perfect, but man, it really doesn't sound bad at all, and especially it doesn't look bad with the video either. Like, that just kind of works automatically, and I think that a lot of filmmakers will find that a lot of these construction kits, the full tracks contained in there, will give them a lot of inspiration and a really, really good template to really make progress on these kind of projects. But I also want to go over some of the other samples and how those can help for specific transitions. Like, let's say you already have some background music, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't have these big impacts and other transitions and stuff like that, and you want to add transitions, or perhaps there's not even background music, perhaps it's just backing sound effects and things like that. There's this pack is full of those as well. Like, I especially like this transition from here to synths right here where it goes into this big valley. I especially like that because there's a spot where there isn't really footage playing, where it's just gray, and it kind of holds and then it goes boom right into that image right there, which I think is really epic. So I could add some kind of transitional sound to that. First off, the thing that I would want would probably be an impact. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take a look at the kind of impacts we have. Like, that's kind of an interesting one. It's a little small. That one's tonal. I'm not sure if I really want a tonal one. That one's good. This one sounds pretty good. Right there. So I want to just drag that in, and then I can kind of line that up right there. Just like that. So that's a cool impact. And then I want something to hit right there as well. So let's see if we go into the trailer box here, we probably have some trailer drums. Yeah, I can maybe find like a cymbal hit. Yeah, I like that one. I can drag that in, and that can be dragged in right here. Then I can kind of control the volume of that. Yeah, that sounds really cool. The next thing I want is probably a bram or a brom. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I want something to hit right there as well. That's kind of just like durr, like it has some orchestral kind of sound, just something that has a tone. Kind of like that. And just for the sake of it, I'm just going to take that one so we don't have to go searching around. But there's a lot of good ones in here. Right there. And actually, as soon as it transitions to this other impacts one, I kind of want this one to shut up a little bit. I want this one to cut off. And then I want to go into another impact that isn't quite as heavy. So we can just go ahead and grab another impact, see what kind of stuff we have. Maybe a softer one would do better. Yeah, I'll just grab a soft one for this one and throw that in and line that right up. Maybe not that. Maybe there's too much bass in that. Let's try a different impact. Yeah, I'll take something more like this, the reverb slam, and then throw that in there, and perhaps that'll add more ambience as well. Let's turn it down. Yeah, kind of like that. And you could continue that, you know, adding other things in between as well. So that's just using a few of these samples as an example of how you can go in and kind of engineer your own sort of transitions and add your own effects in these scenarios as well. And again, like I was saying before, you don't have to just do it this way by piecing everything together with just individual samples, and you don't have to just bring in a big track. You can find a happy medium. You can go in and find your kits, like this is the kit that we used last time, that drama kit that you heard before, and you can go in to the stems folder, and it has all of the different instrumental stems that you heard from that kit. Like let's bring back the piano. Let's remember what this piano sounded like. If we drag that right in there, piano sounded like this. And see, we had a drum loop in there as well. So we can take this as well and throw that in right here. And you could kind of line those up and mix those around, take away parts that you didn't really like that you heard in the, you know, the full kit itself. You have all the stems right there. So you kind of rebuild and redesign your own kind of track around it as well. You don't have to just work with the individual samples. You can pick apart each kit. And I just went over one kit here. Like that's just one construction kit. You can hear a few more of these construction kits played. If you go into the link in the description, you'll see more previews of the, you know, sounds contained in this pack. And you'll also have another video of me going over all of these samples and folders in depth as far as actually what they contain. But this is what I wanted to go over, how all of these sounds can be implemented in video editing software and can be combined with some footage that you had in a very easy and basic way. It's not rocket science to get some of these things to work together generally. Of course, you can get way more detailed and you can perfectly line everything up, but it's a very, very good way to get a baseline thing going into it for it to sound professional kind of right off the bat. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for checking out Tesseract. Again, the link is in the bottom of the description. I can see this pack being insanely useful for filmmakers of any kind. There's a lot of different sound effects and a lot of different tracks in here, construction kits in here for film producers, no matter what style of film you produce. Again, there's so many different kinds of styles here, from like 80s wave to dark and dramatic. You have light and uplifting, you know, you have aggressive, lo-fi, all kinds of different genres of, you know, cinematic scores that you can choose from. So we really appreciate all of your support, and I will see you in the next video. Happy producing.